calls upon us to make our choice on the right side, to connect with heavenly agencies, to adopt principles that will restore in us the divine image. In his written word and in the great book of nature, he has revealed the principle of life. It is our work to obtain a knowledge of the principles and by obedience to cooperate with him in restoring health to the body as well as to the soul. And one more passage I would like to read. In order to know what in order to know what are the best foods, we must study God's original plan for man's diet. He who created man and who understands his needs appointed Adam his food. Behold, he said, I have given you every herb yielding seed, and every tree in which is a fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for food. Upon leaving Eden to gain his livelihood by tilling the earth under the curse of sin, man received permission to eat also the herb of the seed, the herb of the field. Grain, fruits, nuts, and vegetables constitute the diet chosen for us by our Creator. These foods, prepared in as simple and natural a manner as possible, are the most health, helpful and nourishing. They impart a strength, a power of endurance, and a vigor of intellect that are not afforded by a more complex and stimulating diet. This is taken for counsels on diet. Now, this afternoon, my presentation is going to be threefold. I'm afraid you're not hearing me properly. It is going to be threefold. Three short videos that I am going to present, and then we're going to talk about it. And in teaching, there is a strategy called KWL. So when we teach our class, we ask our students what they know from what they just heard. K, that is K. W is what they want to know, a question, and L is what you have learned. So I am the teacher today. You all are my students. After the after each video, if I'm asking, I have pen and paper, so you can write down something that you know that wasn't new to you in the video. You're going to write down something that was new to you, and you're going to, what question would you ask from the video? Now, most of the discussion this afternoon is going to talk about research done by a doctor called Dr. William Lee. He was one of the persons who did a lot of research on food at a molecular level. See food and its relationship with the cell. And they have found the amazing things that happen when we eat the food, natural food, and it comes into direct connection with the cell. My first video that I'm gonna play is one with a TED Talk video. And this video was done maybe 15 years ago. But the principles he talks about in the video is still applicable to today. He is getting a lot of pushback from the pharmaceutical companies. But one of the good things is that he is a doctor that also worked on creating drugs. So they can just push back just so far. He knows exactly what the drug companies are doing, and he has evidence that some of these drugs does not work. But if you use the food, natural food that we have, it works in some cases better than the drugs that the doctors are prescribing. So the first video is called, it's a TED Talk video. So just remember, you know what, I need someone to help me pass out the paper and pencil. Janice, Miss Martin, okay, sorry. Okay, it's there. So while you listen, you can just sketch down, okay, what is new to you? What question you will, you want to ask, yeah. I just tear the pages. And what you have learned, okay.
Good afternoon. There's a medical revolution happening all around us, and it's one that's going to help us conquer some of society's most dreaded conditions, including cancer. And the revolution is called angiogenesis, and it's based on the process that our bodies use to grow blood vessels. So why should we care about blood vessels? Well, the human body is literally packed with them, 60,000 miles worth in a typical adult. End to end, that would form a line that would circle the earth twice. The smallest blood vessels are called capillaries. We've got 19 billion of them in our bodies. And these are the vessels of life. And as I'll show you, they can also be the vessels of death. Now, the remarkable thing about blood vessels is that they have this ability to adapt to whatever environment they're growing in. For example, in the liver, they form channels to detoxify the blood. In the lung, they line air sacs for gas exchange. In muscle, they corkscrew so that muscles can contract without cutting off circulation. And in nerves, they course along like power lines, keeping those nerves alive. And we get most of these blood vessels when we're actually still in the womb. And what that means is that as adults, blood vessels don't normally grow, except in a few special circumstances. In women, blood vessels grow every month to build the lining of the uterus. During pregnancy, they form the placenta, which connects mom and baby. And after injury, blood vessels actually have to grow under the scab in order to heal a wound. And this is actually what it looks like, hundreds of blood vessels all growing towards the center of the wound. So the body has the ability to regulate the amount of blood vessels that are present at any given time. And it does this through an elaborate and elegant system of checks and balances, stimulators and inhibitors of angiogenesis, such that when we need a brief burst of blood vessels, the body can do this by releasing stimulators, proteins called angiogenic factors, that act as natural fertilizer and stimulate new blood vessels to sprout. And when those excess vessels are no longer needed, the body prunes them back to baseline using naturally occurring years of angiogenesis. Now, there are other situations where we start beneath the baseline and we need to grow more blood vessels just to get back to normal levels. For example, after an injury. And the body can do that too, but only to that normal level, that set point. But what we now know is that for a number of diseases, there are defects in the system where the body can't prune back extra blood vessels or can't grow enough new ones in a right place at the right time. In these situations, angiogenesis is out of balance. And when angiogenesis is out of balance, a myriad of diseases result. For example, insufficient angiogenesis, not enough blood vessels, leads to wounds that don't heal, heart attacks, legs without circulation, death from stroke, nerve damage. And on the other hand, excessive angiogenesis, too many blood vessels, drives disease. And we see this in cancer, blindness, arthritis, obesity, Alzheimer's disease. In total, there are more than 70 major diseases affecting more than 1 billion people worldwide that all look on the surface to be different from one another, but all actually share abnormal angiogenesis as their common denominator. And this realization is allowing us to reconceptualize the way that we actually approach these diseases by controlling angiogenesis. Now, I'm going to focus on cancer because angiogenesis is a hallmark of cancer, every type of cancer. So here we go. This is a tumor, dark, gray, ominous mass growing inside a brain. And under the microscope, you can see hundreds of these brown-staining blood vessels, capillaries that are feeding cancer cells, bringing oxygen and nutrients. But cancers don't start out like this. And in fact, cancers don't start out with a blood supply. They start out as small microscopic nests of cells that can only grow to 1/2 a cubic millimeter in size. That's the tip of a ballpoint pen. Then they can't get any larger because they don't have a blood supply, so they don't have enough oxygen or nutrients. And in fact, we're probably forming these microscopic cancers all the time in our body. Autopsy studies from people who died in car accidents have shown that about 40% of women between the ages of 40 and 50 actually have microscopic cancers in their breasts. About 50% of men in their 50s and 60s have microscopic prostate cancers. And virtually 100% of us, by the time we reach our 70s, will have microscopic cancers growing in our thyroid. Yet without a blood supply, most of these cancers will never become dangerous. Dr. Judah Folkman, who was my mentor and who was the pioneer of the angiogenesis field, once called this cancer without disease. So the body's ability to balance angiogenesis, when it's working properly, prevents blood vessels from feeding cancers. And this turns out to be one of our most important defense mechanisms against cancer. In fact, if you actually block angiogenesis and prevent blood vessels from ever reaching cancer cells, tumors simply can't grow up. But once angiogenesis occurs, cancers can grow exponentially. And this is actually how a cancer goes from being harmless to deadly. Cancer cells mutate, and they gain the ability to release lots of those angiogenic factors, natural fertilizer, that tip the balance in favor of blood vessels invading the cancer. And once those vessels invade the cancer, it can expand, it can invade local tissues, and the same vessels that are feeding tumors allow cancer cells to exit into the circulation as metastases. And unfortunately, this late stage of cancer is the one at which it's most likely to be diagnosed, when angiogenesis is already turned on and cancer cells are growing like wild. So, if angiogenesis is a tipping point between a harmless cancer and a harmful one, then one major part of the angiogenesis revolution is a new approach to treating cancer by cutting off the blood supply. We call this anti-angiogenic therapy, and it's completely different from chemotherapy because it selectively aims at the blood vessels that are feeding the cancers. And we can do this because tumor blood vessels are unlike normal healthy vessels we see in other places of the body. They're abnormal, they're very poorly constructed, and because of that, they're highly vulnerable to treatments that target them. And in fact, when we give cancer patients anti-angiogenic therapy, here, an experimental drug for a glioma, which is a type of a brain tumor, you can see that there are dramatic changes that occur when the tumor is being starved. Here's a woman with a breast cancer being treated with the anti-angiogenic drug called Avastin, which is FDA approved, and you can see that the halo of blood flow disappears after treatment. Now, I've just shown you two very different types of cancer that both responded to anti-angiogenic therapy. So a few years ago, I asked myself, can we take this one step further and treat other cancers, even in other species? So here is a 9-year-old boxer named Milo who had a very aggressive tumor called a malignant neurofibroma growing on his shoulder and invaded to his lungs. His veterinarian only gave him 3 months to live. So we created a cocktail of anti-angiogenic drugs that could be mixed into his dog food, as well as an anti-angiogenic cream that could be applied on the surface of the tumor. And within a few weeks of treatment, we were able to slow down that cancer's growth such that we were ultimately able to extend Milo's survival to 6 times what the veterinarian had initially predicted, all with a very good quality of life. And we've subsequently treated more than 600 dogs. We have about a 60% response rate and improved survival for these pets that were about to be euthanized. So let me show you a couple of even more interesting examples. This is a 20-year-old dolphin living in Florida, and she had these lesions in her mouth that, over the course of 3 years, developed into invasive squamous cell cancers. So we created an anti-angiogenic paste. We had it painted on top of the cancer 3 times a week, and over the course of 7 months, the cancers completely disappeared, and the biopsies came back as normal. Here's a cancer growing in the lip of a quarter horse named Guinness. It's a very, very deadly type of cancer called an angiosarcoma, had already spread to his lymph nodes. So we used the anti-angiogenic skin cream for the lip and an oral cocktail so we could treat from the inside as well as the outside. And over the course of 6 months, he experienced a complete remission. And here he is 6 years later, Guinness, with his very happy owner. Now, obviously, anti-androgenic therapy could be used for a wide range of cancers. And in fact, the first pioneering treatments for people as well as dogs are already becoming available. There's 12 different drugs, 11 different cancer types, but the real question is, how well do these work in practice? So here is actually the patient survival data from 8 different types of cancer, and the bars represent survival time taken from the era in which there was only chemotherapy or surgery or radiation available. But starting in 2004, when anti-androgenic therapies first became available, you can see that there has been a 70 to 100% improvement in survival for people with kidney cancer, multiple myeloma, colorectal cancer, and gastrointestinal stromal tumors. That's impressive. But for other tumors and cancer types, the improvements have only been modest. So I started asking myself, why haven't we been able to do better? And the answer to me is obvious. We're treating cancer too late in the game, when it's already established and oftentimes it's already spread or metastasized. And as a doctor, I know that once a disease progresses to an advanced stage, achieving a cure can be difficult, if not impossible. So I went back to the biology of angiogenesis and started thinking, could the answer to cancer be preventing angiogenesis, beating cancer at its own game, so that cancers could never become dangerous? This could help healthy people, as well as people who have already beaten cancer once or twice and want to find a way to keep it from coming back. So to look for a way to prevent angiogenesis in cancer, I went back to look at cancer's causes. And what really intrigued me was when I saw that diet accounts for 30 to 35% of environmentally caused cancers. Now, the obvious thing is to think about what we could remove from our diet, what to strip out, take away. But I actually took a completely opposite approach and began asking, what could we be adding to our diet that's naturally anti-androgenic, that could boost the body's defense system and beat back those blood vessels that are feeding cancers? In other words, can we eat to starve cancer? Well, the answer is yes, and I'm going to show you how. And our search for this has taken us to the market, the farm, and to the spice cabinet, because what we've discovered is that Mother Nature has laced a large number of foods and beverages and herbs with naturally occurring inhibitors of angiogenesis. So here's a test system we developed. At the center is a ring from which hundreds of blood vessels are growing out in a starburst fashion. And we can use this system to test dietary factors at concentrations that are attainable by eating. So let me show you what happens when we put in an extract from red grapes, the active ingredient resveratrol. It's also found in red wine. This inhibits abnormal angiogenesis by 60%. Here's what happens when we add an extract from strawberries. It potently inhibits angiogenesis. An extract from soybeans. And here is a growing list of our anti-angiogenic foods and beverages that we're interested in studying. And for each food type, we believe that there's different potencies within different strains and varietals. And we want to measure this because, well, while you're eating a strawberry or drinking tea, why not select the one that's most potent for preventing cancer? So here are 4 different teas that we've tested. They're all common ones. Chinese jasmine, Japanese sencha, Earl Grey, and a special blend that we prepared. And you can see clearly that the teas vary in their potency from less potent to more potent. But what's very cool is when we actually combine the 2 less potent teas together, the combination, the blend, is more potent than either one alone. This means there's food synergy. Here's some more data from our testing. Now, in the lab, we can simulate tumor angiogenesis, represented here in a black bar. And using this system, we can test the potency of cancer drugs. So the shorter the bar, less angiogenesis, that's good. And here are some common drugs that have been associated with reducing the risk of cancer in people. Statins, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, and a few others. they inhibit angiogenesis too. And here are the dietary factors going head-to-head against these drugs. You can see they clearly hold their own, and in some cases they're more potent than the actual drugs. Soy, parsley, garlic, grapes, berries. I could go home and cook a tasty meal using these ingredients. So imagine if we could create the world's first rating system in which we could score foods according to their androgenic, cancer preventive properties. And that's what we're doing right now. Now, I've shown you a bunch of lab data, and so the real question, what is the evidence in people that eating certain foods can reduce angiogenesis in cancer? Well, the best example I know is a study of 79,000 men followed over 20 years, in which it was found that men who consumed cooked tomatoes 2 to 3 times a week had up to a 50% reduction in their risk of developing prostate cancer. Now, we know that tomatoes are a good source of lycopene, and lycopene is anti-androgenic. But what's even more interesting from this study is that in those men who did develop prostate cancer, those who ate more servings of tomato sauce actually had fewer blood vessels feeding their cancer. So this human study is a prime example of how anti-androgenic substances present in food and consumed at practical levels can impact on cancer. And we're now studying the role of a healthy diet with Dean Ornish at UCSF and Tufts University on the role of this healthy diet on markers of angiogenesis that we can find in the bloodstream. Now, obviously, what I've shared with you has some far-ranging implications even beyond cancer research, because if we're right, it could impact on consumer education, food services, public health, and even the insurance industry. And in fact, some insurance companies are already beginning to think along these lines. Check out this ad from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Minnesota. And for many people around the world, dietary cancer prevention may be the only practical solution, because not everybody can afford expensive end-stage cancer treatments, but everybody could benefit from a healthy diet based on local, sustainable, anti-androgenic crops. Now, finally, I've talked to you about food, and I've talked to you about cancer, so there's just one more disease that I have to tell you about, and that's obesity. Because it turns out that adipose tissue, fat, is highly angiogenesis dependent. And like a tumor, fat grows when blood vessels grow. So the question is, can we shrink fat by cutting off its blood supply? So the top curve shows the body weight of a genetically obese mouse that eats nonstop until it turns fat like this furry tennis ball. And the bottom curve is the weight of a normal mouse. If you take the obese mouse and give it an angiogenesis inhibitor, it loses weight. Stop the treatment, gains the weight back. Restart the treatment, loses the weight again. Stop the treatment, gains the weight back. And in fact, you can cycle the weight up and down simply by inhibiting angiogenesis. So this approach that we're taking for cancer prevention may also have an application for obesity. The really, truly interesting thing about this is that we can't take these obese mice and make them lose more weight than what the normal mouse's weight is supposed to be. In other words, we can't create supermodel mice. And this speaks to the role of angiogenesis in regulating healthy set points. Albert Szent-Györgyi once said that discovery consists of seeing what everybody has seen and thinking what nobody has thought. I hope I've convinced you that for diseases like cancer, obesity, and other conditions, that there may be a great power in attacking their common denominator, angiogenesis. And that's what I think the world needs now. Thank you.
So these drugs aren't exactly, they're not exactly in mainstream cancer treatments right now. For anyone out here who has cancer, what would you...
Okay, thank you. So, I mean, there were a lot of some technical words in the presentation, but I hope everyone got the gist of the video. And it's just, he's just talking about, and I mean, we know that everything starts with the blood and the blood system. And if we can prevent the cancer cells in our body, because we know we all have cancer cells in our bodies. If we can prevent blood supply to the cancer cells, we won't get cancer. It's as simple as that. And by eating the right foods in the right portion, that's important, we can live healthy lives. This is not something that happens overnight, and it is something that sometimes is a habit that is sometimes hard to develop, but with consistency, and we changing a little at a time. Eating an apple every day. An apple peel have chemicals or nutrients in it that actually prevents the blood supply from going to the cancer cells. You know, he talked about garlic and parsley. So there's a lot of foods out there, and it's there's a tomatoes. Yes, he spoke about tomatoes. One thing about tomatoes in another video that he has, eating a raw tomato is good, but eating a cooked tomato in any type of oil gives you an 80% increase in the beneficial nutrients in the tomatoes. Anyone want to share of anything that they learned, anything questions they have, any yes.
Tomato is good for women as well.
Yes, yes, it is for overall tomatoes, because tomatoes have lipocene in it, and lipocene is very healthy for both men and women. Yes.
I learned that there's a link between.
I can't hear. Sorry.
I learned that there's a link between cancer and angiogenesis, and also the excessive angiogenesis causes diseases like Alzheimer's and less blood circulation.
Yeah.
In the, blood.
Okay, so did you all hear what she said? Did you all hear? Should I pass it? Oh, sorry. You want to repeat?
I remember, since I'm a science major, I remember learning about angiogenesis, I think in probably biochem. But I just want to say that I learned that there's a link between angiogenesis and cancer, and that excessive angiogenesis can cause diseases like Alzheimer's, and it produces less circulation in the foot.
Thank you. So wait, you have to go. When you come up and you give an answer, or you can get one of my books that are here. Anybody else? I have all these books here, and anybody who contribute can come up and get a book. Does anyone else want to contribute? Miss Martin, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
I just want to emphasize the fact that he talked about blueberries and strawberries, and how important strawberries, was one.
Yes.
That was more important.
Yeah.
The nutritional value. Strawberry was so much more.
Yeah, did you see in the diagram how just one drop of the strawberry killed all the blood vessels in the lab that they were that experiment that they were doing in the lab?
I thought blueberries was more important.
But he said strawberries. Yeah. Okay, so Miss Martin, you can. Anyone else? Anyone to have a question, something that they're like wondering about?
Yeah, so in the video he said that red wine is supposed to be where you would find the resveratrol. So what is your perspective on red wine versus grape juice or eating grapes?
Okay, so the research that was done with red wine and heart health was actually done by a wine company. That you have to do your research. It was done, it was sponsored, it was paid for by a wine company. Now, yes, reservoir is found in grapes, but it is found just under the skin of the grapes. And when you, during the wine making process, that is, it's lost. So, or 99% is lost. So yes, you may get some benefits, but also if we think about the damage that alcohol does, and I'm saying this with no apologies, there is absolutely no nutritional benefit of alcohol. None. None. There's sugar in alcohol that can give you energy, but you know what? You can get it in somewhere else. And I'm not saying no, a glass of wine. I'm not going to tell anyone that. But if you ask me on a nutrition level, if there's a benefit, there is no benefit. If you want to get the 1% of the nutrients, fine. But if you want to get the 100%, eat some grapes. And I wouldn't be sued for it. Yes, you can get a book. I wouldn't be sued for it because it's just the facts. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay, so if no one else, we can get our second video. Now, all the research that he has done and other researchers have done, it has developed a type of diet which is sort of like personalized. And my second video is talking about that little personalized nutrition, and it's a relatively new field, but it's a field of the future. It's a way of the future. It is something that is coming. Right now it's pretty expensive to do, but with research you can make a diet plan for yourself. You can do it. It may take a little bit of time. It will take a lot of reading, a lot of research, but you can do it. If you have your money, and I think some insurances are paying for it now, you can go to a nutritionist. I know if you're diabetic, I think Medicaid or Medicare, one of them pay a nutritionist if it's something that you want to do and you think you could afford it. You can go to a nutritionist and have them do a diet plan for you. And when I talk about diet, when I tell people, when I say diet, I do not mean weight loss. Diet does not mean weight loss. It's a way of, how you eat, and, your portion, and just eating to the best the best stuff that, food that you have out there. Yes, Ms. Martin?
Another thing, I was fascinated to see that when they were comparing the drugs and when it eats naturally, how it was just...
Exactly. And the drugs, every single drug has a side effect. And it's a negative side effects. The fine print, when you read it's amazing. You say it cause blindness and may cause this and that, and we take the drugs. We don't have, I'm not telling anyone not to take their drugs. I can just talk about my experience. The doctor had put me on high blood pressure pills, and he said, oh, you can't drink grapefruit juice. And with my research, okay, you can't drink grapefruit juice while you take the high blood pressure pill because the grapefruit juice will send your pressure down lower. Okay, so why don't you drink the grapefruit juice? Why don't you drink, grape juice? And I remember I went to him and he's taking my pressure, and I knew it was kind of like high. And just before he started, I started to do some deep breathing exercises. And he said, oh my gosh, you don't need these pills. And I'm laughing, and I'm saying, just because I took the deep breath and I was doing, and I calmed myself, my pressure went down. There are things you can do without having to pay excess money that will get your blood pressure down, and they're rethinking some of the blood pressure, all the theories behind it. They are rethinking it now. So, you can take your drugs, you can talk to your doctor. Please, please, do not say I did not, I told you to stop. Do your research and be vigilant about what drugs your doctor is giving you. Sorry, Avis. Yes. Yes, that is true. They do get kickbacks and they do get trips and stuff when they push drugs. Yeah.
Aside from the incentives and some doctors do that, one of the problems, right, and I've witnessed it, particularly in our community, right, is that we prefer the drug.
Yeah.
We don't want to do the work that it takes to get on the right diet. We don't want to do the work that it takes to take the exercise. We prefer the drug.
Yeah.
Right? So when you see the doctor seeing that you're not doing any of those things that you're supposed to do, and your blood pressure is going high, they would be negligent to tell you, oh, come off the medication.
Yeah.
Some doctors want you off the medication. Not everybody, right? Some people want you off the medication, but you have to do the thing to let them say, all right, off you go.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. You just can't come off the medication. You have to do what is necessary to get you to that point. Okay, our next video. The one to the left. The one to the left, I think, is it?
Today's medical-centric topic is Medical Nutrition Therapy, a comprehensive guide. Medical Nutrition Therapy, MNT, is a therapeutic approach to treating medical conditions and their associated symptoms via a specifically tailored diet devised and monitored by a healthcare professional, typically a registered dietitian. MNT is used to manage diseases that can be affected by dietary changes, such as diabetes, heart diseases, and digestive disorders. This guide explains what MNT involves, its benefits, and the conditions it commonly addresses. Understanding medical nutrition therapy. MNT goes beyond standard dietary adjustments to encompass a comprehensive approach involving an in-depth assessment, personalized nutrition plan, and continuous monitoring and modification of the plan as needed. It's based on a detailed nutritional diagnosis made by a dietitian and is considered a key component in clinical treatment plans. Key components of MNT. 1. Nutritional assessment. This initial step gathers comprehensive information about the individual's lifestyle, dietary habits, medical history, and specific needs. This data forms the basis for the personalized nutrition plan. 2. Diet plan development. Based on the assessment, a registered dietitian formulates a detailed eating plan tailored to the patient's health requirements, considering factors like caloric needs, nutritional requirements, and personal preferences. 3. Intervention and monitoring. The dietitian implements the diet plan and provides education on managing the diet under real-life conditions. Regular follow-ups are essential to monitor progress and make necessary adjustments to the plan. 4. Maintenance. Long-term support adjustments ensure the sustainability of the health benefits and compliance with the diet. Benefits of medical nutrition therapy. Disease management. MNT can help control illnesses such as diabetes by stabilizing blood glucose levels, managing blood pressure and cholesterol and heart disease, and improving gut health in gastrointestinal conditions. Prevention and complications. Proper nutritional management can prevent or delay disease progression and avoid complications. Improved quality of life. By managing symptoms and enhancing well-being, MNT contributes to a better overall quality of life. Common conditions addressed by MNT. Diabetes. Tailored diets to manage blood sugar and prevent diabetes-related complications. Cardiovascular diseases. Heart-healthy diets low in sodium and unhealthy fats. Kidney diseases. Controlled protein intake and monitoring phosphorus and potassium levels. Gastrointestinal disorders. Specialized diets for conditions like Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, and irritable bowel syndrome. Medical nutrition therapy is an evidence-based, individualized approach that plays a crucial role in managing chronic diseases through diet.
Thank you for watching our video. Please do not forget to like and share the video. Also, please subscribe to the channel to stay updated on our latest videos.
Okay, so the MNT, the medical nutrition therapy, is a direct result of the work that Dr. Lee did. And, you know, every week there are new findings, and they have discovered in one fruit, I can't remember which was the fruit, over 200 nutrients in that one, substances in that one fruit. No, it wasn't pomegranate, no. But they are not sure how it works in the body, how it would benefit the body. So every so often, new things are being discovered, and old theories are being debunked. So we just have to keep vigilant with what, with what's up to date. But if we go back to the Bible and the scriptures, in Genesis, God talks about when he created this world, everything that we needed for our body was there in the plants and in the plants. And I'm not advocating this, but meat wasn't a part of that diet. I'm not saying, yes, we have benefits from meat. After the flood, God allowed man to eat meat. So he wouldn't allow man to eat meat if it was detrimental for us. So there is some benefits. But the first diet, and we have lots of evidence from the Bible, think about Daniel of a plant-based diet is the best diet for a full, vibrant life. Any, again, questions? Anything you want to learn? Something that was new, something that was...
I have a question.
Okay.
Right? No, this is just me, right? This is not mainstream science, no. This is just me. I am of the opinion, right, that foods should not be fractured.
Food should not be what?
Fractured.
Fruits. Food.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that food should not be fractured. So when I say that, as human beings, when we process food, we basically break something to process. Because I believe if God created it in a certain way, he created it to balance off itself in a way in the body. That's my personal view.
Okay.
Is there any evidence that, because you hear, okay, you should not drink whole milk, right? You should use fat-free or whatever. And I believe in the long term, you're going to find that may cause some kind of damage. I believe if you're avoiding something, you're avoiding it. If you're going to take something, you're going to take it. Is there any evidence against that or to support that?
Okay, I'll tell you what the evidence, this will answer your question. And it has to do with juicing. And I know a lot of people juice. And Some people live by the, juices and its benefits, and probably I'm not saying probably, you do get benefits from juices. But the fruit is made in a way that to get the full benefit of the fruit, you eat the fruit whole. You don't juice it. When you juice the fruit, you get mainly sugar, one, and two, most of the nutritional value of a fruit is at the skin, and when you juice, that is discarded. So I don't know if that answers, because you may get benefits from it. And also, the amount of sugar you get in a juice, the skin, when you eat a fruit whole, the skin, because of the fiber in the skin, it balances it off. Also, when you juice, that harsh cutting of it, you also use nutrients because of the way the food was handled. And a good example is basil. If you cut a basil with a knife, it turns black very, very quickly. When you break it with your hands, it does not turn black. So it's a similar similar example for the between the two things. So I hope that answers your question. No?
So isn't it better to do smoothies instead of juices?
Yes. Yeah, it's better to do smoothies than juices. It's about the same thing. You have, Miss? Okay, sorry.
No, what you're talking about, now they're promoting more vegetables, using more vegetables than fruits.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I agree with you, when you juice the fruit, there's so much sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole fruit, it won't help the balance of,
Yeah.
But a lot of people juice vegetables, right? Because some people like this. It's difficult somebody to eat a big bowl of salad or a big bowl of greens in one, right? So sometimes people they do juicing to help, because when you juice, the body absorbs it faster, and you have to go through all that breakdown and fibers. So along with eating raw or plant-based, you do juicing. You do the green juices, and that helps.
Yeah, that's a valid explanation. But if you want to get the 100%, we're just saying that it's better to use, because in juicing the amount of sugar, it's.
You're talking about fruit, you're talking about vegetable now.
Yeah, okay.
The fruit, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar,
okay. You had a. I'm sorry.
Plant-based is great.
Uh-huh.
My concern is how much plant-based is really helping, because you have many vegetables that are loaded with chemicals, loaded with all kind of things.
That is true. We have we have more chemicals in the food now than before. But what is the alternative? It is still better than processed food. It has a lot of chemicals. One of the reasons why, again, this is me, one of the reasons why I don't eat chicken is because chicken has the most hormone of any meat. They pump those chickens with so much hormones. I have a friend, she does not eat drumsticks because she says it looks so unnatural. You remember a drumstick in a chicken? I don't know, 10, 20 years ago, it was a small drumstick. Now it's as big as a turkey leg. So they pump a whole lot of chemicals in it. So you try the best you can to get the most nutritious, the most healthiest you can, and you try the best that you can. And excuse me?
When you can't, if you
Yeah, when you can. And let me tell you, eating poorly is much, 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 much more expensive than eating the right way. Much, 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 much more. It might be, you may think it might be expensive initially, but think about when you have to go to the doctor and the amount of medication you have to eat. And sometimes, well, I know for me, again, for me, sometimes you buy more than you need. And we have to think now about, okay, you just buy, small portions of a little bit instead of buying a whole. You go to the grocery and you're buying a whole, a lot of stuff. And then at the end of the week, you have to throw things out. Meal planning saves on food, saves on the price of food. Yeah.
Wasn't too long after him. When I went and I saw her, all of a sudden, my daughter was just growing up, and I asked him about it. Yeah, asked him about it. Why all of a sudden just, so she had to take it to the doctor to find out what it was going on. So what the doctor told her, he said, I'll meet you at the thing. Because what they inject into the chicken.
Yeah.
And she had like the chicken around the chicken, what it looks like chicken wings. Is the hormone they pump into the chicken wings. So she had to take off her chicken completely. And what does it use? She said they just string up. The foot size is so much bigger than we when we were young.
Yeah.
Everything changing.
Yeah. I don't want to come down on, meat on one particular meat. They're free range chicken, and there are ways that you can, if you love meat or you love chicken, there's a healthy alternative than the cheap processed, hormone filled meat, chicken. Yes, I'm not coming down on meat, and I like a good lamb every now and then. But I'm just, encouraging us all to be careful of what it is we put in our mouths. We want to praise God and we want to live a life that is beneficial to Him. If we are sick, we can't go out and do what we need, what God requires us to do. It's also when we have a poor diet, it also affects us mentally. So all these things, if we live a wholesome life, we eat, we try as best as possible to eat wholesome food, we will be able to do what is required of us in our spiritual life. Now I don't know how much more time I have. We have? I have a video that's 20 minutes. I'm okay? Okay, so this last video actually is a video about the blue zones. Let me see the hands of all those who have ever heard of the blue zones. Okay, so this one is of the blue zone in Loma Linda. The blue zone is areas, I think there are 5 areas all over the world where people are living to be over 100 years old. And they're healthy, they're doing the exercises. So Loma Linda in California is one of the areas that is considered a blue zone. And we know our church, our church's headquarters there, and there's a University Loma Linda University Hospital. That's one of the best hospitals in the world. So it's Yeah, so we're going to look at a video for the Loma Linda University area, and okay, all right. So yeah, can you hold on? Yeah, okay. So can I get the lights back on, please? I'm sorry, I don't have enough time. So anyway, I will in closing, I'd just like to encourage, if you go to the you go to YouTube, or if you have Netflix, and you look up the Blue Zone documentary, there's a lot of information. Also, I'm going to give, although she didn't answer a question, I am going to give Perry this book. It's called The Healing Kitchen. In fact, I have books. I think everyone can get a book this afternoon. Okay, and I will recommend this book. It's called Eat to Beat Diseases. This is a book by Dr. William Lee, and they have a 5x5 plan where you eat 5 foods, 5 different foods a day, just towards a healthy life. So thank you very much for listening and contributing, and let's all live healthy lives.
I have a quick question, Sally.
Yeah.
If you said when you talk about diet, you're not talking about losing weight, but if we're eating healthy, won't we?
Yes.
Yeah, you will. You will. You will. But if you eat it, but usually when people talk about diet, immediately people think about weight loss. If you eat a healthy, you will lose weight slowly, but you will lose weight as opposed to diet to lose weight.
Okay.
Yes.
That is true. If you eat properly, you will lose the weight.
All right.
Okay, so I am debating whether we should just do one quick chorus and then
No, let's go straight in.
All right.
We could sing after.
Okay, beautiful. So my brother, would you kindly introduce yourself?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Hello, good evening, everyone. All right, my name is Riley Caesar, and I'm going to do a little presentation for you guys. Oh, sorry. I'm too loud? Okay, we're going to talk a little bit of nutrition. I listened to my sister, and she had some very good facts for you. We are going to come a little closer to home. How you can maintain nutrients and how you can cook to make the food that you're eating healthier for you. Now, I'm going to ask a quick question, and this is a very interactive show. Why do you eat? Why do we eat? To live? Why do we eat? Quick, anybody else? Somebody said to live? Just get nutrients and to sustain the body. Okay? Both of those, somebody said for fun. One of the things we eat a lot of times when we eat, guess what we eat for mostly? Flavor. Taste. We eat and we get the taste. Now what we are supposed to be looking for is the what? The nutrients, because nutrients is what is going to fight diseases, fight bacteria. And so some of the things, the way we cook our food. So we're going to talk about how can you cook your food to save the nutritional value in your food. All right? And we're going to go to something that is very practical, that you can do, that is very easy for you. All right? One of the things that I always talked about is, and she talked about the food. What are enemies to nutrition? What are some of the enemies to nutrition? What are some of the enemies to nutrition?
Heat, chemicals.
Heat.
Chemicals.
Yeah. Chemicals.
Storage.
Okay.
Stored.
What others? Storing, overcooking, all of those. I'm gonna give you some that might surprise you. Too much water. Okay. I'm gonna give you a couple of these. Here are some of the enemies to nutrition. Peeling. Peeling. Peeling, yeah, peeling. 75 to 80% of nutrients are right under the skin. Every time you peel a vegetable, every time you're peeling a tomato, now let me use like carrots, or you're peeling eggplant. Anytime you're peeling that, you're losing 75 to 80% of that nutrient right there. So, peeling, enemy number one. Next one, heat. Heat kills nutrients. Heat kills nutrients. You know, I work for a company, and I'll tell you a little about that. I'm not here to actually promote that, but heat kills nutrients. Now think about this. Let's say it's your birthday. Let's say it's Abigail's birthday, and Abigail mom wants to bake her a cake, right? Just one cake. So she mixes this cake and she puts it in the oven at 350 degrees for, let's say, 35 minutes, 30 minutes. What do you think is happening in that 35 minutes while that cake is baking? Talk to me. This is very practical. You're doing it. What? Now think about your oven. Your oven has these little things like this, the heat. If you notice, all of them are red when you turn it on. So your food is being cooked under tremendous heat. When you're making that cake, when that cake is done, you don't even have 35% of the nutritional value in that cake. It's going to still taste good, but there's no kind of nutrients in it. I'm going to give you another one that we use every day. Microwave.
Oh my goodness. Too much.
And there's a big one that just came up after microwave. Air fryer. But you know what? We keep using these things every day. This is something that we want to look at. If and what I'm more concerned about is, especially as Adventists, we believe our gospel is hitched on to medical science and our food, and we have the health message and all that. And we are trying, even those who are vegetarians, I'm more sorry for vegetarians than for, well, I shouldn't say more sorry, but because the way we cook, we are just actually ending up with the same amount of things in the food. Yeah, you're not eating chicken, you're not eating meat, but the way you're cooking your food. I'm going to show you something very quickly and show you one of the reasons why one of the greatest enemy to nutrition that you wouldn't even think of. Guess what it is? Water. One of the biggest enemies to your cooking and nutrition is water. I'm going to do something here quickly, and I want to show you guys this. You are going to tell me how this comes out, what you think after we do this experiment. So I'm going to just grate this carrot quickly, all right? And I'm going to let you taste. So all you guys are going to taste this carrot, and we're going to do a test to see how bad water is for your food. So I'm just going to take this here quickly. I'm going to take a glove, put it on. So I'm going to grate some carrot. These carrots are washed already. Everything is washed. I'm just going to cut it up quickly. And I'm going to ask each of you to take a little bit and eat it, all right? Okay, I'm just going to put it on. I'm going to take my carrot here. I'm going to take the carrot in quickly. I'm just going to drop it in my salad master machine. This is a company called Salad Master Mix Machine. Right? I'm just grating this carrot quickly. I'm going to do one more. Now this is something you can make your salad in about 5 minutes. You make your salad, any kind of thing you cut. This is cut any vegetable. It's going to save half your time in the kitchen. And I'll tell you how you can get this. I'm not good. So I'm going to ask Abigail to just go around and let everyone, we are family here, so you could just take a little bit of carrot in your hand and eat it right now, right? You got to put them in a bowl. We not have, oh, I thought we were family. Okay.
We also in the church, I guess.
Let me just go quickly. Just put your hands out and just eat a little bit. All right? This is fresh carrot.
Okay. Anybody wants a bowl?
Fresh carrot. If you want a bowl,
Here you go.
just taste it. I just want you tasting this carrot, right? Everybody, just taste it. Taste it. I'll pass it back. Just go ahead and eat it. Mommy. How you doing?
Steve, come down here.
Where am I some carrots?
You got some.
Oh, you need some carrots, what am I see? What?
Book. The last one you want them to
I gave it the book. You see all what you got? In my Bible.
Anybody did it yet? Who did it yet? Anybody got? Everybody got? Everybody got? Good. Come on, eat carrots. Anybody got? You ready? You got some?
This guy didn't get any.
Right there.
Let's get some from the net in the back. A little more, yeah.
So how did the carrot taste?
Come here.
You taste it? Oh, I know you'll get the answer. They like carrot answer. I get it all the time. Like carrot. Good. So did everyone taste the carrot? How did it taste? Like carrot. Thank you. Very much like carrot. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to ask for some water. And I'm not going to use hot water. I'm going to use cold water. All right? Regular water from a bottle. And for some carrot.
Oh no, he has water.
You have water here? So remember, you are watching me. Nothing is in here. I'm going to just throw water in the rest of this carrot here. Right? And I want you guys to start counting from 1 to 10. Start counting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Y'all could count fast, you know. All right. Okay, now I'm going to throw the water from the carrot. All right? All right? And I'm going to give you back the carrot to taste now. Everybody ready? Let's go. Too much? If you get a bowl, don't take much. Put on this side. Everybody? Come on. I just want to get a taste of it. Sorry.
Exactly get stuff like coconut oil and bring it
What happened the second time you tasted the carrot?
Flavor was gone.
The flavor was gone, right?
Yeah.
Here's what happens. Every time you're boiling plantain, edo, cassava, everything, that's exactly what's happening. You know what happens when you're doing? You're going to add some flavor to it. Onion, garlic, everything. You're going to get flavor. But what you're not going to get back ever is nutrition. So you're cooking, you're spending your money, even if you do organic. What you're doing is wasting money cooking this way. You want to make sure that your vegetables are not cooked in water. You know, for instance, like you go to Jamaican restaurant early in the morning, see there's that pan there, that edo dumpling, cassava, yam, and the water is white. And then they take the spoon and take away what? Dumpling? dumpling, cassava, yam, and they give to you. Look at that whiteness there. That is where all the nutrients are. So when you're cooking, as someone who's home cooking, you are to take care of how you're cooking, the way you're cooking your food. What's her name?
Mr. Sally.
Miss Sally said something that was perfectly correct. It's less expensive to cook than to pay the doctor. It's less expensive to take care of your health than to pay the doctor. So a lot of times we look at things as, oh, that's too expensive. But what you're actually doing is killing yourself. One of the things about the company that this system that I've been in the kitchen working in cooking for the past maybe 30 years. I worked on a cruise ship as a galley supervisor, and then I came and I worked as I got in this company, Salad Bars, and I loved it because of what I saw it to do for me. And it also has helped many of I'm telling you guys, if you look at this, and I'm really interested in you guys looking at this system that we call Salad Master, it's going to save you, first of all, it can save you half the time in the kitchen.
So how you cook it?
Good question. How do you cook this? Now, it has the thing where you actually using like steam. We cook eddos and cassava, yam, no water touching it, eggs, no water touching it, everything in the pan, no water touching it. And at the end, you can eat half the amount you used to eat before. I don't care how much you used to eat before, you cannot eat half the amount you used to eat before. I've been doing this with this system for 15 years. And I'm telling you, this is the encouragement I'm giving to you guys. It's about your health. It's about your life. And it's going to save you more money. You know, I have not used my oven, Miss Sally, my oven in over 15 years. Everything that I want to bake, I bake right on top of the stove in any one of these cookware. I'm going to bake cake. Sorry, bro. I'm going to bake cake and put it on top of the stove. I'm baking bread and put it on top of the stove. I'm baking chicken. Whatever I'm baking, sweet bread, everything is on top of the stove. And I'm baking it in half the time, and it's going to save me 75% of my bill in terms of the gas and whatever you're paying if you're using current, because you're not going to use that amount of oil, the energy. The other thing about this system is that it comes with one cookware that has oil in it. Now, the oil is sandwiched between the metal, so it never touches your food. But it's an electrical, please. When you plug it in, it's going to heat, the oil is going to heat up, and you can fry chicken in there, you can fry fish, oxtail, goat. Excuse me. One thing, I did salmon a couple of days ago. You wouldn't be surprised at the amount of oil there is in salmon. Yeah. When you're frying salmon, you literally got to take the pot and put oil and pour the oil out because the oil, it produces it itself. Now think about what we are doing. We are frying fish in oil. We are frying chicken in oil. We are frying cold oxtail, all of that in oil. Those things were made with the amount of oil it needs to be fried in itself. So what this system does is, this electric skillet does, it heats the oil in the pan, and then it activates the oil in whatever you're cooking. If it's the oxtail, and you will see the amount of oil that comes out from that oxtail. You will never want to use oil again. What am I doing by not using oil? I'm saving my arteries, blocked arteries. Oil is the #1 factor for blocking arteries. So you're getting rid of that. You are totally getting rid of that. So you want to make sure that when you're cooking, I'm allergic to, yes. When you're cooking, it's about your health. It's about saving your life and your children's life. And this system is so simple. And I mean, I'm going to just, I'm going to make garbage. I just want to do something quickly and show you how your life will become easier here. Any question as we go? Any question? We talked about, how many of you guys have an air fryer? Good. Why you got an air fryer? Because it does what? Quick. That's the word, right? Quick. Why you use a microwave?
Quick and less oil.
All right, good. Think about the microwave. When you go to do an X-ray, what do they put on you, especially men?
Radiation.
They put what? When you're doing an X-ray, they put something over your body. A shield. Why do they put that? Nurses here? Any nurses? Yeah. Why do they put that shield in, nurse? From the radiation, right? Do you know what is in your microwave? A lot of it too. A lot of radiation. Your air fryer, worse. Much. Huh? The air fryer? The air fryer heats much higher than the microwave does. So it's work. And these things you can Google, and Alexis says everything in Google, but you can actually see these things for yourself. All right? One of the things I encourage you to do is that, cook. I grew up in a country area in Guyana, so I know about cooking vegetables. And I remember my mom used to do stew, and she would cook it in this oil, and then she would even take the oil and pour it on the rice. We call it sauce in Guyana, to make the rice a little more loose. Anybody know what I'm talking about there? Being a little Trinidadians and North Guyanese there. That's the word, gravy. Gravy, and the gravy is good, but 60% of the gravy is what? Think about what we're doing to ourselves. It has been proven that we are eating ourselves to our own grave. The way we cook. We can do better. And not only better, we can do it faster and cheaper. Because when you are using the oven and you're using the microwave and you're using all these air fryers, it's just all you're getting is speed. Here's another experiment you can do when you go home. When you go home and or tomorrow when you finish cooking, eat half of your food, right? And then take the other half and microwave it, and then taste it again. Totally different. Totally different. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, I know you guys are running late. I got another couple. I wanted you guys to understand the importance of what you cook in. What you cook in. How many of you guys cook in non-stick? The non-stick. You got cooking non-stick? Okay. What's your name?
Kathleen.
Natalie, and your name? Kathleen and Natalie?
No, Kathleen.
Kathleen and over the lady put her hand up.
Avis.
Avis? Whatever your name is, I'm telling you, if you're cooking in non-stick, you just met me this afternoon. Please throw it away when you go home. Please. Here's the thing about it.
Tell me why.
Good question. Non-stick. Now, non-stick is a chemical. It's actually the pot that you cook in there is a regular aluminum that they spray something called Teflon in it.
Right.
When they spray that Teflon, that's a chemical that is dangerous. All right? Now, one of the things, the first red flag about that is when you buy it, what do they tell you not to use in it? Metal. Oh, you think they're trying to save you? What they're trying to do is to save you from scraping up that Teflon. Because eating that Teflon is just like taking chemicals that are...
Okay, so the ones I have, they're non-stick, but you don't use oil in them either. So what's the difference?
Okay. I'm not sure the ones you have don't have oil. You don't use
put
oil
in the pot, no.
Yeah, but it's still non-stick. The same chemical.
Yeah. And the chemicals are vaporizing.
They get black. Because that's a chemical. Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of the chemicals that they use in these things is for me down the line, 20 years, 40 years down the line, that they tell you, oops, we made a mistake.
They didn't do a non-stick. In non-stick, they're telling you.
When aluminum, that's what they did with aluminum.
Right.
Our grandparents and great-grandparents were cooking in aluminum. And now we have a problem with Alzheimer's and all of these things.
Very much contributory to the Alzheimer's.
Any biochemist will tell you that when you use these chemicals, they are equivalent. I saw one testify before Congress, and he said that when he is dead, literally, they should put him in a biohazard box.
Mm-hmm.
Because the amount of chemicals we are exposing ourselves to, we are biochemical hazards to the environment.
That is true. That is true. So we have to be very careful of what we cook in. What we cook in is very, very important. And one of the reasons why it's so important that we're cooking that is healthy, because it doesn't matter what you're cooking. Yeah, go ahead. Question. Great. That's another one. There are levels of stainless steel. That's the thing. There are qualities of stainless steel. There's, the one, you see those fancy houses that get that silver or gold, fancy fencing or stairs, that nice silver thing. That's just 404. That is a low grade of stainless steel. Okay, let me ask a quick question. How many of you let's say you take a car, right? I'm trying to use just examples that you can all relate, that we can all relate to. Now, let's say you take a car and you put it by a beach, right? And you leave that the car there for a couple. What happened to that car after a while? It rusts, right? What's rusting it? But that metal is stainless steel. So the other thing about cooking in stainless steel is that when you're cooking in stainless steel, you're actually adding what to your food every day? Iron. What? How do you? Salt, seasoning, and a lot of people say, "Well, I don't use a lot of salt," but vegetables themselves get natural salt. So after a while, your cookware will start deteriorating, and you are not now serving your children, your husband, and everybody metals in the food because of what it is. I'm not scaring you. I'm just telling you this is just literally the truth. Literally the truth. So one of the things that one of the best metals that they can use, that they have advised to use, is something called titanium. Huh? But you said it's more. Yeah. She said it's expensive. It is, because titanium is the only metal they actually put in your body. Anybody know about hip replacement and replacement, cancer treatment, bones or screws in the back? The only metal they use is titanium. Why? Is because that is compatible with your body. They used to use aluminum a while back, but every 8 months you're going to take that piece out and put it in back. So one of the things we do, I've been with this company for 15 years, and this is before I experienced this. I'm telling you guys, it's cheaper to invest in something for a long time that's going to change you and your family's life. The thing about this is that this one piece of cookware is going to change not just your life. Your life is your entire. It's like you have a phone. If you got 3 children, all y'all got a phone, you pay a bill, right? For the rest of your life. This cookware is going to change your life, not you. She said until I could pay their own bill. Right. But I'm telling you, this is a method that I want you guys to see. And one of the things I'm hoping that we can do is I want you guys to sit and watch a presentation. I'm going to cook. Yeah, go ahead.
What do you say about, like when I was growing up, my parents cooked in the iron pot?
Good. That's another nice one. That's another one nice one. A friend of mine said, he's Jamaican, right? And he said every Sunday, the mother used to cook this soup in this big iron pot, right? Yeah. And every time you look in the soup, you'll see these black things floating to the top. And he said, Mommy, Granny, what is that? And she said, oh, that is seasoning. Every time she takes the spoon and stirs, she do like this. What do you think happened here? The iron is breaking off and going. If you look at the iron pot with a microscope, you'll see there are so many spaces. And this is one more thing before I do this thing. One of the things about cookware is that everybody ate curry before, right? Oh, yeah. Let's say you cook some curry today, right? You cook some nice curry chicken or chicken curry, whichever way you treat it. I don't want to argue with me, guys. Whatever it is, curry chicken or chicken curry, however you cook it. And you wash that pot, you wash that pot clean, right? And then tomorrow you fry egg. What are you tasting? Curry. You're tasting curry. I don't care how clean you are. Tomorrow you're going to be tasting curry. Let me tell you what happens. It's something called leaching. Every time a food cook with a fire, the pores open. Heat opens the pore. And when it's cold, it closes back. So let me tell you what happened. If you cook some chicken today, here's the thing about vegetarians now. If you cook some chicken today, right? And you cook a nice chicken stew, and it cooked nice, and your vegetarian friend will come today. So y'all eat and you put the pot down. Tomorrow your vegetarian come and say, oh, my sister, so you can't cook some food. Yeah. Let me wash this pot. The same pot that you just cooked this chicken stew in, you wash that pot clean. You put it back in the fire and you put some nice soy chunks, right? You put the soy chunks in there. You know what they get in? Soy chunks plus stew chicken. Because think about it. It's called leaching, all metals. And the other thing about that, if you cook curry in this cookware right now, or any food in the cookware, and you put it down there and you don't use it for 2 weeks, that food is just in there chilling. The next time you use it, it's going to come into your food, and you'll understand why it's called leaching. Metals leach. The only metal that doesn't leach is the titanium. Yes, go ahead.
I was basically, I can't remember that how the rule goes. It's a scientific rule basically that two objects, when it comes into contact with each other, they basically leave
something there.
They leave something there, right? And that's a scientific rule for everything, right? If I touch somebody, right, I'm leaving some of my DNA on them. You cannot escape that rule.
So you here's the thing. I understand where you are, or maybe I don't, but I'm saying with titanium as against the theory that you're using there, metals also is going to stand up to certain things. There are certain things that are going to stand up to the chemicals that are there. One, you have to do the choice is to use the one that's going to be, even in your theory, use the ones that are going to be least.
No, I agree with you there, right? But I resist the idea, right? I resist it because it's simply a law, right? That if two things come into contact with each other, something is not going to be that pure. That's all.
Okay, I don't know, and one of the things I always try to do is when I'm open-minded, I'm going to look into that. I've never heard it put over in that kind of a way, but I am talking about the chemicals as chemicals, the makeup of chemicals, the makeup of iron, the makeup of glass. How many of you ever use a glass pot? You use that?
Yeah.
You just broke? Don't buy back another one. Why? What is glass made of? Think about it. What is glass made of? Sand and what? Lead. And lead. Remember lead? Anybody know what lead is? Lead is one of the most dangerous things that goes into your body. Remember when you used to be suing people when children used to be breaking a little piece of paint off the wall and putting them out, they used to be sued for millions of dollars? Not because lead is it. Glass kettles are something that it's about your choice. But I can give you advice as to what is much better, what is the safest thing to do. Now, what is the perfect thing? I'm not going to go perfect, but I'm going to go what is going to save you. And the system that I'm going to tell you about is going to save you time in the kitchen. Now, I want to do this salad quickly because I want to see how many people would like me to give this church one of these machine free.
Yeah, give the church a machine.
Okay, I'm just going to look at what our salad, this is what our company says that you should do your salad. Sister Sally, this is something that we talk. So all I have here, all these vegetables are washed. They're not peeled. None of them are peeled. This is zucchini, right? I'm going to grate my zucchini. I'm going to grate my yellow squash. Everything inside this one bowl, right? I can do them together or I can do them one by one. This is about speeding your kitchen, right?
So what about for people like me who not interested in salads?
Why you? So I'm going to ask you a question. Why you're not interested in salad? All right, so we have that. We're going to put some apples. Sometimes we talk about apple a day. I'm going to just change the cone. Now this system has 5 different cones, and each one of them will give you a different cut, right? So I'm going to put in this cone here now, and this is going to give me kind of a...
My brother here has a question.
Yeah, sure.
You're not supposed to mix fruits and vegetables.
I was waiting for that. I have studied... No, you're asking or you... No, my theory on that is that I have not got any scientific fact on that. I've heard Sister White says, I've heard this person says, but I've tried to get it to see if you can mix an apple with a salad or what happens when it goes down in your stomach. I don't know. I can't answer that question.
I can explain about that. And I don't know about the fruits and the vegetables, but sometimes you have different fruits and vegetables. They have different compounds that are +2 and -2. It's a like a +2 and -2. And what happens if a two plus two chemicals get together, they cancel each other out. So there's no benefit,
So I'm putting red cabbage, green cabbage, yellow squash, zucchini. I'm going to throw some carrots in there. I'm making a salad that is healthy. Only one fruit, and all the rest are vegetables. I'm going to put some carrots here. All right. This is radish. This is something that we I could say black people.
Yes, you can say that.
Yeah, you can say onion, yes.
Yeah, this is something that black people don't like. How many of you eat a lot of radish? This is very, very, very high nutrients. If you work with Jews, they eat this all day. So, how many of you like this? Celery.
Yes, celery.
Now, I have a thing with celery that's a little difficult to understand. Celery has something that is very, see that?
Yeah.
See this? That's very hard to digest, that stringy part. So what this machine does, you put it in a one cone, you turn like this. What this machine is going to do, is going to strip everything out and just leave the strings alone.
What?
So you get all the nutritious value in here, and just the string alone.
They want to see it again. They want to see it again.
You want to see it again? I'm just going to turn it back to front because I don't want the strings inside. I have a cone, a certain cone, the number 1 cone, which we teach you how to use, right? And I will just turn this cone. What it's going to do, it's going to trap all the main parts of it and just leave the strings alone. All right? So you're getting your nutrition there. I think we got.
So why the string come out?
Why the string come out?
It's hard to digest.
The string doesn't digest. It's hard to digest. This here, it's very tough to digest. So you want to get out the nutritional part and get it out there. All right? So guys, one of the things we do for all of you here, my office is in Canarsie. I have an office. I am a dealer with this company. I've been with them for 15 years. I'm going to come to your house or you come to my office. I'm going to do a presentation for you. There's no cost to the presentation. And here's the deal now. If you guys can come with 4 persons, let's say Sister Sally, you come and you bring 2 couples, you get this machine in the bowl free.
But suppose I already know single people.
Well, if they are decision makers.
Okay.
All right, 4 persons that are decision makers.
Like you need a husband and a wife?
If you have a husband and a wife, or a wife and a husband.
House you buy?
What? You're not buying, you don't have to buy. No, that's the thing I want everybody to understand. You're coming to see a presentation.
It looks like the investment is like a house investment.
No, it's about 2 persons who are together that is looking to see something that they can work together to the same purpose. All right? So if you got a single person, if you think you can come by yourself and say, you know, this is something me and my husband want, that's fine. As long as you can make, as long as you're a decision maker. I didn't hear you. The machine, we don't sell this machine. That's what I'm saying. When you get the 4 persons, you get the machine in the bowl free. And this is lifetime warranty. This machine is 14 years old. It's going to be shine like this. I don't care. You can bury it in the earth and take it out back. It's going to be like this. This is lifetime warranty.
So when you bring the 4 people?
The purpose of the 4 people is to see the presentation. When they see the presentation, if there's anything they see that they want, they can buy. But what we're saying, you don't have to buy. You just have to have the 4 persons there.
So what if they don't buy?
No problem. You got 4 persons, then you get your machine.
So you become a host.
And then, yeah, you're hosting the presentation. No, you can host it in my office, where you have seen everything there. You have a kitchen. You just bring them in Canarsie, just off of Flatlands Avenue. You get 4 persons. Or, you know, you do it in your home. We come, we bring all the food. All you have to do is get a plate, and we do the presentation right there. And it's simple as that. All right? Nah, you always got to do this thing. I know you would have come. Yeah.
When you do the presentation, are you going for it? You're going to take the machine and go and do presentation again?
What you talking about? You give me a new machine.
I give you a brand new machine. Everybody that hosts the presentation gets a new machine. A new machine, a new bowl. Every presentation that you do, as long as you got the 4 people, you get a brand new machine and a new bowl. Right?
I don't know why you think that Michelle is giving a machine using this presentation.
No, we're not using this machine.
Those presentations, like you have to, like you're selling something.
When you come to the presentation, if you want to buy something, you can, but the host is not responsible for people buying. The host is responsible to have 4 people there, and the host gets their machine after that presentation. All right? Okay? So one of the things we do, we can do, this is going to cut up all your vegetables. It's going to cut your carrella, your okra, your anything in whatever style you want. It's going to do all your salad, cut your cucumbers, your everything that you want to cut up. It's going to save you half the time in the kitchen using this machine to cut up your greens, everything. So that's just something I want. And anyone that wants to do a presentation, you guys can contact Abigail, give her your name, and we could come and do the presentation. We'll arrange a date that you can do. Any questions before? Any questions?
Because this is
Wait, and presentation? Microwave in it, right?
Yeah.
No, well, one is the cookware that we're talking about, you can reheat it in that cookware. It reads really fast in the cookware, but instead of using the microwave, so the microwave is going to kill you with the nutrition. Don't even think about using it. That's going to kill it. I know it's going to be hard, but you can heat it up in the same cookware. When you cook it in the cookware, you put it on back in the fire with that same cookware. You store it in things and put it back in there.
Okay, let's regroup. Let's regroup. Okay, so let's regroup.
It could be. It could be.
Move on with the
Yeah, sure. Okay, so guys, I'm hoping that what I said this afternoon is going to help you in your life. You saw some things that maybe you didn't know before. You know it now.
I want your contact before I leave.
Yeah.
I want a presentation.
Yeah, so if you need a presentation, you can contact me or you can contact Abigail. We can come. I'm going to make sure. I'm throwing this out. If I get 4 different presentations from the church, I'm going to make sure I give the church a machine and a bigger bowl than this so you guys can make your salad very, very easy and can have it for a lifetime warranty. All right? So if you get 4 different presentations over it don't have a time limit, but I'll make sure that you guys get a machine like this. It's a lifetime something that I can give you. Any questions before I go? And thank you very much for.
But we're supposed to have a tasting.
Yeah.
So can we do that after?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're asking the questions, sister?
No, I said for the church to get it, when it comes to the presentation, we have to say Liberty Center.
Well, I can know. So yeah, the church is going to be getting one of those. So thank you very much. Thank you. I hope you guys had I said something that you didn't know before or something that thank you very much.
So I want to thank Brother Riley for his presentation. Right? We had a very interesting presentation this evening, 2 presentations on nutrition. Right? And
So, we have those parts. What type of parts?
Can we hold on? Can we hold questions for after?
All right.
She wants to ask a question.
I said, all the parts have problems. Which is the main one we're supposed to buy?
That's what we talk about, the titanium. The company that we work for, they sell only titanium. Everything is made in US. Everything is made in US. They're made from 316 surgical stainless steel and it's made with titanium and they're all lifetime warranty. They've been in the company we run since 1946.
Okay. I believe in the titanium.
All right. So I'll just remind you that Sister Sally has some books here, right? That you all can get for being participative in the sessions today. I said sessions. Sister Sally, I'll be taking a little liberty.
Today was good.
Right? So, and these are very good books. You know, very good books. Oh, Cooking with Kids. I can give that to my daughter with her granddaughter. Oh, yes. Yes. Very nice.
These books are giving away favorism.
Let me see that one. Cooking with Kids. Yes. So, you know, we have to say thank you very much to Sister Sally. Thank you very much to Brother Riley. Right? We really appreciate you all coming out here and giving us this presentation because in all things, Bible tells us, brethren, I wish above all things that you be good, that you prosper and be in good health. Right? So let us try to live our best lives.
And this is better than you preaching morning and evening. Then you learn to eat good.
All right. So right now, how about we do a few choruses, some songs, some praise. Yeah.
After we finish this song and we close off, Brother Riley would like to speak to us for 5 minutes.
Yes, and we will give our brother Riley 5 minutes after we close this evening. Right? Yeah, some choruses. Just 1 second. Sing the song to the chorus. Okay. All right. Alright, so people are saying we should close because it's what time is it now? 6 o'clock. 5:30. Okay, 5:30. So that is 5:48. You're kind of, it has 3 clocks in this place. What's going on? Right? So let us stand and sing. Day is dying in the west. And we want to thank everybody, our viewers for viewing. We want to give them thanks for being here, for viewing, and we wish you will. Oh, Debbie? And we hope that you all will visit us again online.